Part 3 Chapter 9 Vanya and Katyusha sat together at the table while Nonna cooked breakfast for them. Nonna set before the two hearty meals for the day's work. "Eat well. You have much work today," said Nonna. "Thanks, Nonna," cheered Katyusha. "Thank you," said Vanya as Nonna sat beside him. Vanya looked down at the morning's paper and read the headline to himself. Rebel forces threaten the new capital. "You read the paper yet?" he asked Nonna. "No, did you?" she replied. "I did," said Katyusha. "Seems the rebellion isn't quite through with their bloodshed." Katyusha looked upset, but Vanya could understand why. "It's all right, Katyusha. We'll make it through this. Together." Vanya placed his hand on the back of hers, which she sat on the table. "I did some planning, and I think we can dig out the area required for the bunker in about a day. That is, with all of us working on it. The soil is soft enough, and it won't be too hard to dig up. The hardest part will be moving it away," said Nonna as she turned the topic to that of the day's work. "When can we get to the roof?" "Have you spoken to the mason yet?" asked Vanya. "I have. He says the roof will be ready tomorrow. The cement still needs more time to cure before they can transport it," replied Nonna. When the three finished their breakfast, they walked to the shed in the back and got the tools they needed. Katyusha lifted her pickaxe, but even though it was the smallest they could find, it seemed a bit too large for her. "Perhaps you should wheel the dirt away," suggested Vanya. "I can do this," argued Katyusha. "Are you sure? After all, somebody does need to move the spoil away from the excavation site anyway. It's not like you wouldn't be helping," said Nonna. "I can do it," said Katyusha again. "Very well then. Let's get to work," said Vanya. The group broke soil in the yard, each starting at a different corner of the marked-out soil. Vanya threw his shovel into the soil and pulled out lump after lump, until at last being able to lower himself down to use his pick effectively. Nonna followed Vanya's lead and more carefully dug up the earth around her. Katyusha lifted her shovel and managed to pierce halfway before needing to push the blade down with her foot. It was early in the afternoon when each had made their way to the depth required, and were now chipping away at the walls of earth leading to the final corner. Katyusha laid her pick down and wiped her forehead. "I need something to drink. Does anyone else want anything?" she asked. Nonna paused and looked up to Katyusha. "Yes, I think I'll have something as well. How about you, Vanya?" "I should probably drink so as not to get too dehydrated." The three climbed out of the hole and made their way back inside for tea. Katyusha sat down at the table and laid her head on it. Nonna sat beside her and asked, "Do you need a small nap to regain your strength?" "No," murmured Katyusha, not even trying to lift herself. "Well, if you do take one, at least have something to drink first," said Vanya, bringing the tea to the table. Katyusha rose wearily and took the tea to her lips, relishing in the relief that it gave her. When they finished, Nonna took Katyusha upstairs while Vanya went outside to begin loading soil into the wheelbarrow. As he lowered himself into the pit, Vanya heard a familiar sound. It was the squeak of tank treads rolling and the roar of their engines. As it drew nearer, the soil began to tremble until at last Vanya ran from his pit and inside to grab his gun and investigate. When he had once more made it back to where the shed was, he opened the back gate and looked beyond the walls surrounding his home. A line of tanks and BM-13 artillery pieces rolled down the dirt path leading into the city. One of the soldiers patrolling alongside the moving armor spotted him and raised his gun. "Stand back," he yelled at Vanya. The soldier approached Vanya and asked, "Are you a rebel?" "What?" asked Vanya. "Are you a rebel to the nation state?" he asked once more. "No, I just live here," replied Vanya. The soldier lowered his weapon halfway but did not relax. "What are you doing with that gun?" he asked. "I heard tanks and I came to investigate." "What's going on?" asked Nonna from behind Vanya. "We're security forces. We're moving armor into the village. We're with the new Union," replied the soldier. "Is there something happening?" asked Nonna. "There have been increased attacks on Union infrastructure and vital cities. This town lies between the outer rural areas and the capital. We've been tasked with fortifying this location," stated the soldier. Sergei, move it! Yelled one of the passing tank commanders. Vanya and the soldier looked up to him, and the soldier left, leaving Nonna and Vanya standing by the gate. This is getting worse than I thought, whispered Nonna. Once we have the bunker made, we're only going out for essentials. I want everybody to stay here, said Vanya. What about Katyusha? Asked Nonna. What about her? If the rebels move here, what if they find and hurt Katyusha? Asked Nonna. Vanya squeezed the grip of his rifle and answered, I won't let them hurt her. I won't let them hurt either of you.